What if I told you that Samsung's One UI 9 is already being tested behind closed doors, even before One UI 8.5 officially launches? That's right. While everyone's waiting for the One UI 8.5 to hit their phone, leaked screenshots and code from One UI 9 have already started making their way online. Today, I am bringing you an exclusive first look at what Samsung has in store for us with One UI 9, including some exciting changes to the Samsung Internet browser and a completely redesigned welcome screen experience. But here's the thing, this is happening way earlier than expected, and it gives us some serious clues about Samsung's software development timeline. So grab your coffee and let's dive into these leaked screenshots, because what we're seeing today might completely change how you use your Samsung device in the future. Let me start with the most exciting part, the actual One UI 9 welcome screen that nobody was supposed to see yet. A leaked test build has revealed Samsung's Check for Updates page for One UI 9, and it's looking pretty fresh. The page clearly displays One UI 9.0 text with a brand new background design that honestly looks pretty sleek. What caught my attention immediately is the logo design. Samsung is using red and blue color themes this time around. This is actually a departure from One UI 8.5, which used blue and green colors for its branding. The red and blue combination gives One UI 9 a much bolder and more modern appearance compared to previous versions. Moving on to the software installation screen, we are not seeing any major design overhauls here. Samsung seems to be sticking with what works, but they have added a new One UI 9 themed image at the top of the installation screen. I have to say, this new image looks incredibly clean and would actually make for a pretty cool wallpaper option. The welcome screen itself follows the same pattern. It's mostly unchanged from previous versions. Like we've seen before, it simply greets users after the installation process is complete. The main difference here is obviously the updated One UI 9.0 branding throughout the interface. Now let's talk about where things get really interesting, the Samsung Internet browser changes. Samsung Internet is getting some major upgrades that could change how we browse the web on Samsung devices. The biggest addition is a new compact search bar option that appears as a small floating bar near the bottom of your screen. Users will be able to enable this through debug settings, which suggests it might become a standard feature in the final release. This compact bar includes four main elements: search functionality, AI integration, recent tabs access, and the familiar three-dot menu. When you tap the three-dot button, you get access to additional options and settings. But here's the really cool part. The bar automatically hides when you scroll down and reappears when you scroll up. This creates a much more immersive browsing experience because you get more screen real estate when you are actually reading content. The AI integration brings us to another major feature called Ask AI. This feature allows users to ask questions about whatever webpage they are currently viewing. The AI presents answers in a clean and organized layout that is easy to read and understand. Even better, it allows you to revisit past conversations, so you can go back to previous AI interactions. However, there's a catch. Ask AI will likely be limited to devices that support Galaxy AI. This means it will probably be restricted to flagship models, at least initially. Samsung has been doing this with many of their AI features, rolling them out to premium devices first. Let's shift gears and talk about the overall design philosophy Samsung seems to be adopting with One UI 9. We are seeing evidence that Samsung is planning to refine the UI design even further. Remember those floating pill-shaped bottom bars that were introduced in One UI 8.5? Well, Samsung appears to be making them even more refined in One UI 9. Leaked images from Tarun Vats show the quick share interface from the One UI 9.0. The floating pill-shaped bottom bar looks more compact compared to what we see in One UI 8.5. The tabs also appear to be rounder and more polished in their design. Samsung could be making these changes to create a more sophisticated look while also saving valuable screen space. Of course, Samsung has been known to backtrack on design changes based on user feedback, so nothing is set in stone yet. Some users might prefer the older design, and Samsung does listen to feedback from internal testers and early adopters. This is clearly a very early build of One UI 9.0, especially considering Samsung hasn't even started rolling out the stable version of One UI 8.5 yet. Now let's talk about the timeline and what we know about when One UI 9 will actually arrive. Leaked firmware code has officially confirmed that One UI 9.0 is Samsung's next major update after One UI 8.5. The software will be based on Android 17, which makes this a significant release in terms of underlying technology. One UI 9.0 is expected to debut on new flagship devices, including the Galaxy S26 series and next-generation foldable phones. We're looking at about a year from now before we see the software in consumers' hands. The S26 series has the new One UI 8.5 out of the box, but will probably be the first devices to receive the One UI 9.0 update. We can also expect the next generation of foldable phones to launch with One UI 9.0. This includes the upcoming Z Fold and Z Flip flagships, and potentially Samsung's first trifold foldable device. According to recent reports, Samsung's trifold device will have a worldwide release next year, which aligns perfectly with the One UI 9.0 timeline. It's still too early to know all the specific features that One UI 9.0 will bring. But if we look at Samsung's recent software development patterns, we can make some educated guesses. The AI integration will almost certainly take center stage, given Samsung's recent focus on Galaxy AI features. We can expect enhanced customization options, smoother animations, and more AI-powered tools throughout the interface. Samsung has been consistently improving these areas with each major update, so One UI 9.0 will likely continue this trend. The company's focus on user experience refinement suggests we will see more polished interactions and better overall performance. Here's what's particularly interesting about these early leaks. They give us insight into Samsung's software development roadmap. The fact that One UI 9.0 code is already present in One UI 8.5 firmware build shows how far ahead Samsung plans their software updates. This level of forward planning helps explain why Samsung has been able to maintain relatively consistent update schedules across their device lineup. It's worth noting that all the features and changes we are seeing right now might not make it to the final version. Samsung could remove or modify these features before the stable rollout based on testing feedback and user experience considerations. The company has done this before, making significant changes between early test builds and final releases. We will continue tracking these developments and sharing updates as more information becomes available. For now, Samsung is still focused on rolling out One UI 8.0 and preparing for the One UI 8.5 launch. The stable rollout of One UI 8 just started for the Galaxy S24 series, including the FE model, Z Flip 6, and Z Fold 6. So there you have it, our exclusive first look at Samsung's One UI 9.0, complete with welcome screens, Samsung Internet upgrades, and design refinements. What do you think about these changes? Are you excited about the compact search bar in Samsung Internet, or are you more interested in the Ask AI feature? Let me know in the comments below which One UI 9 feature you're most looking forward to. If you found this early look at One UI 9 helpful, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more Samsung software updates and leaks. Ring the notification bell so you don't miss any future coverage of One UI developments. Remember, we are still about a year away from seeing One UI 9 in action, but these early glimpses give us a lot to be excited about. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.